I'm Tina Cella, usually go by Tina. Nice to be here. So happy to speak with you all today. So Dan is correct. I'm actually going to do it from a dual perspective, though. So both job seekers and recruiters hopefully will walk away from here with actionable insights that they can use as they either look for a job or are sourcing top talent. So moving on. So as I said, today's presentation is going to offer both perspectives, so insights for both job seekers and recruiters alike. I don't know if you've heard the word AI today yet, right? But there is a revolution in progress. It's transforming hiring through enhanced efficiency, deeper personalization, and better alignment between candidates and companies. Our mission today is that you're going to walk away with 5 actionable AI strategies you can implement immediately to enhance either your career or your recruitment efforts. And you don't need anything really beyond ChatGPT and the premium subscription to do most of what I'm going to share with you today. So the key principle here is that AI is meant to complement human judgment, not replace it. So let's explore how we can leverage this powerful, and I like to think of it as a partnership with artificial intelligence because it's here to stay, right? So I like to start with first looking inward, right? So identifying your core values and strengths and really your story. Because before targeting companies or candidates alike, right, establish a foundation of self-awareness. So for what does this mean for job seekers? Identify your top 3 to 5 personal strengths, clarify key motivators and values, and understand what is your unique value proposition. So this is what separates you from the pack and from all the other people that have resumes that look like or maybe better than yours. What is your, unicorn quality, if you will? For recruiters, you want to identify candidate motivators. So what would potentially identify a candidate to join your team? Recognize cultural fit signals and map candidate values to organizational needs, right? I think at the end of the day, alignment is the name of the game in this job search, right? So you're looking for candidates that are aligned beyond just the role, but with the mission of the company, the values, the leadership team, all of that fun stuff. An AI prompt example here. Analyze my resume and highlight my top 5 transferable strengths for leadership roles in tech. And this is really important too if you're ever looking to pivot, right, into a new industry and or a new role. And you need to be able to tell that story in a way that highlights those transferable skills and maybe even goes a step further and turns any potential gaps into a strength. Offhand, an example of that is, let's say you want to pivot into customer marketing from customer success. You could say, hey, I've been in customer success for a while. I've seen the entire life cycle of the customer, and that actually makes me a better customer marketer than somebody who's just been in that lane because, maybe they've touched customer marketing throughout their customer success career. So they've done both, right? But you have to pull that out and highlight it, whether it's, you're looking for a job, you have to kind of make it clear to them. So the key takeaway here is that alignment starts internally, and clarity ultimately leads to better decisions. And I know this is hard for job seekers a lot of the time because we are in a very tough market and oftentimes you're like, hey, I just need a job, right? But at the end of the day, people are looking for people that are clear on what they want to do, know their ROI, and are confident in it. Like it comes back to that job searching and recruiting is a little bit like dating, right, guys? It is a little bit. I can use that analogy till the cows come home because it's just that true. All right, so on to the next slide. So you can use AI to create target company alignment lists, right? And this goes for both job seekers and candidates. Right? So first you've identified your values. So clarify your core, where you want to work. What workplaces have values that align with, what you think is the place that you want to be, right? And target companies that way. And again, this creates another avenue of alignment through the job search. And right, like if you can align yourself, for example, at Cresta, we talk about operating principles. And if you can align yourself with an operating principle, right, in addition to the role, right, the more alignment, the better. Then use the AI. So use the AI to find companies matching your values, right? And then create prioritized list of aligned organizations and start targeting. So for job seekers, maybe think about start targeting those companies instead of just targeting jobs. Because the thing about it is that jobs, they get posted, they get reposted. LinkedIn, the same job reposted over and over again. And it could be a pipeline rack, or they're maybe not ready to hire. You don't really know. But one thing you do know is that if you go after organizations that are aggressively growing, right, just got funding, are hiring across the board, at least you're going to have more than one chance, right? Like it's not like one job and it's a done deal. And also it's more, you're more intentional because you have sought out those organizations and you have done the research and that comes through in how you interview. And it also goes back to like, at the end of the day, like it comes through if you don't like what you're talking about a lot of the time. So if you can find companies that you really like and want to work at and are passionate about, like that will come through in the interview process as well. And those people often get the job. So example prompts, job seeker, find 10 companies in NSF that align with innovation, collaboration, and personal growth with recent product launches, right? Recruiter prompt, identify companies where top candidates with skill X live based on culture and growth trajectory, right? So this could be your competitors that you want to poach from, right? This allows you to kind of figure out where the kind of candidates that your company wants, where to go to find them. Pro tip, you could include location size and growth stage filters for specificity in your AI prompts, right? So if you're going after, you want to work for a Series C company, you can include all of that information. You can look for recent funding. There's tons of ways you can do it. There's tons of texts that help you do it, but you can do it all through ChatGPT and Claude and like some of the stuff that's like $20 a month. So it is reachable and affordable for all. Next up is AI powered role matching and resume optimization. So you can use it to analyze the job requirements and then use the AI to extract the key skills, the experiences, and the qualifications from those job descriptions, right? And then you, of course, tailor your experience. I mean, do not lie. I'm not suggesting you lie. But it allows you to highlight the relevant of experiences that demonstrate the measurable impact and outcomes that are most important to the role that you're looking to apply to, right? Then optimize keywords, right? Incorporate industry-specific terminology and ATS-friendly formatting. I do think we overthink the ATS a little bit. Mostly my advice is if you can get yourself referred in, create an internal advocate and like not just somebody that you meet on, or, you came across on LinkedIn, right? But somebody that worked closely with you, ideally, and can really advocate to the hiring manager, ideally, that you are somebody that needs to be spoken to. Like sending a resume with, hey, do you have a job or like whatever, that is just not going to do it in this market across the board. Recruiters can also utilize, recruiters can also utilize it by asking analyze candidate resumes for B2B SaaS roles, ranking by impact growth and alignment with product strategy. So this is really great if you get overwhelmed with applications, right? I recruit a lot for customer success, and overnight you will get an insane amount of apps, right? And it's very hard to go through those one by one. So you can dump a bunch of them in there and be like, hey, can you help me prioritize based on criteria that you've set out that are important to the team, right? And that can be helpful in, figuring out who to talk to when you get a ton of inbound, especially if you focus a lot on outbound and you want to figure out a quick way to go through that inbound to make sure you're hopefully not missing any gems, right? And yeah, remember, whenever you're doing this, especially as job seekers, you're always emphasizing results, not responsibilities. Metrics with an impact story is key if you can do that. I'm going to try to be quicker and on time to make up for you guys. So if I'm going through this quickly, I'm sorry. Just trying to make up some time for everybody. All right, cool. So next up is this thing called Sharp I've created that helps you understand how to optimize your LinkedIn. And I think this is important for job seekers, but also recruiters to make sure that the right people are coming to you. And so you're not only always chasing the candidates, but maybe they're finding you as well. But they have to understand and know what you do, what you recruit for, and all of those things in order to do that, right? So how I think of LinkedIn optimization in this SHARP framework is first specific metrics, right? I mean, I think we all kind of understand that by this point. But quantifiable metrics that demonstrate impacts, human voice. I can't stress this one enough, guys. Like AI is great. It's here to stay. We love it. I love it. I use it all day, every day, but you have to maintain that authenticity, that voice that is you. The end of the day, people want to hire people they like. They don't want to hire a robot. Yeah, we're eventually going to have them in our houses and they're our therapists and maybe, I don't know, people's boyfriends go. But at the end of the day, for the most part, people still want to hire the human being, right? So make sure that your voice comes through and your personality in your writing. I think about this a lot with the about section, right? Let it be your story. Start with hi. Start with your story, why you do what you do, and then show proof of that story in there, right? The metrics, whatever, and end with the story, call to action, open to connecting. Aligned with targets. So tailor content to desired companies and roles, right? So make sure you're going after your tagline is a great way to do this. That's the one thing that everyone sees, the tagline in the picture, makes them decide if they want to click in. Is it more than just your job title? The job titles need to be in there for searches, but does it say what your ROI is? Like how you're different? Like for CS, I drive revenue through relationships as an example, right? That is much better than CSM or customer success manager. Um, Results focus, emphasize outcomes rather than responsibilities. That comes back to metrics, but just making sure that, it shows your impact, what you did, what you accomplished, how it's better after you left. Position for growth, show trajectory and potential. So not just the history, right? But like where your potential, where you want to go. Like I think hiring for curiosity and grit, really powerful and sometimes much better than plug and play, but you have to show them that potential. So, what is that? Like, make sure you have, if you're taking courses or anything like that, if you belong to leadership groups, anything and everything that kind of shows them what you can do and how you're going to be an asset to the team. And again, recruiters can use this as well by making sure that their profile is somewhere that attracts the right kinds of candidates. Recruiter AI prompts, you can even use this to optimize job descriptions for product manager roles to highlight outcomes, growth, and cultural fit. So you can also, kind of utilize the AI to work with job descriptions too, to make them more attractive to the candidates that you want to hire. Kind of like Grammarly a little bit, making it like so that women want to apply, things like that, when studies show that women don't apply unless they fit like 120%, sometimes, right? So all of that is great. So cool. Moving on to the next slide. I know we all love to network, right? Networking. So I know networking cannot always be fun. I mean, I love it, but believe me, I did not always love it, right? Like I learned to love it and I learned to be creative with it and start to enjoy the organic connections that I formed through networking. And I think that's what it comes back to. It's like you want to go after these organic connections. And in order to do that, you need to show people that you have done your research, right? So you need to personalize these messages. So I'm gonna give you an example. So AI, of course, helps personalize outreach, increase response rates, and build meaningful connections at scale. So the traditional approach, saw your profile, marketing roles, got anything for me? 5% response rate. I used to respond to those and just be like, no, because I felt bad. But like as I've grown in my career, I've realized that people have to do the work for you to set, they have to do the work first, right? And so come to them with, hey, I noticed your team launched the analytics dashboard, increasing retention. I don't think you really have that metric, but you get my point. You did your research, you saw what was in the news, you are very specifically interested in their company, and you are telling them how you can help solve the problem. That's the reason the job has been opened. That has a 42% response rate. And again, though, the thing with networking is it's a numbers game. And the number of sales it's taken to close sale to close any kind of sales gone way up. That is true for job seekers. It's harder. And you got to work harder to get what you want right now. It just is what it is, right? But the more you do the second approach over and over and over again, you will start to see results. So, this is research driven. AI can help you identify company news, projects, mutual connections, and then tailor those messages specifically around achievements and shared interests. It's kind of the overall idea. So remember, AI, enhance, not replace human touch, maintain authenticity in all of your communications, always. Okay, almost last slide. So step 6, mock interviews and storytelling. So this is how you use the AI to kill those interviews, because you get the interview and you're like, now what do I do, right? No one really loves practicing interviewing. So it's just honestly not the most fun thing to practice, but practice doesn't make perfect, but it makes much, much better. And you start building muscle memory, right? It's like when you go to the gym or you go to yoga, it sucks at first, but over time it gets easier and your body remembers. Your brain remembers too. So the goal of mocks is so that the information becomes so ingrained into you that you can then relate it organically and in a conversational way when you actually interview. Please don't use ChatGPT while you're interviewing. Like, please don't do that live. That is not a good look. Just saying. Use the STAR method. That always works really well. Situation, task, action, result. So narratives that show your impact really clearly. This is great because you can get instant feedback on how you're doing, right? So clarity, relevance, and impact of your responses. But like you want to make sure you prompt the AI correctly in order to get the right feedback, right? So act as a hiring manager for a senior marketing role, ask behavioral questions, provide feedback on clarity, relevance, and impact. And you can even plug in the company that you want to interview for and go more and more deep, and the persona, and I'll get to that a little bit. So add context, so frame questions frame questions in a certain way. But the key takeaway here is that AI practice builds confidence, clarity, and story alignment. And the more you do it, the clearer you'll get on your own story. And sometimes gems come out through there. Maybe you're not super clear. Maybe you'll get clear through practicing, you know? So, like, practice. There are tools, there are people, there's AI. Do something, just practice, guys. I swear to God, it will help so much. And that, you know, for recruiters as well, like storytelling is an art that I think everyone really needs to embrace. Storytelling with data, even more so. But like, how do you tell the story of the company, right? Is that compelling, right? Um, cool. So moving on. All right, so I think I did that pretty quickly, not too long. So what's next? Star Compass Careers, rebranding my company, and then Pristine Data I work with where it's persona specific AI cheat sheet. So if you want more on that, let me know. But that is a wrap. And thank you guys, everyone. This was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it.